This is the best house wiring cable. And here is the honest answer to that question. There is no single best house wiring cable. There is the right cable for each job. And once you can match the cable to the circuit, you have it for life. On screen is the whole map, which cable goes where and what size to use. By the end of this video, you will read a chart like this at a glance. The common cable types, when to reach for each one, and the golden rule that keeps every choice safe. Let us start with the one you will use most. Meet the workhorse of the British home, twin and earth. You have seen it, that flat, gray, oval cable stapled through every loft and wall in the country. Cut it open, and it is beautifully simple. Inside are exactly 3 conductors. A brown one, that is your live. A blue one, that is your neutral. And a bare copper strand running down the middle. That is the earth, also called the CPC, the circuit protective conductor. That bare wire only gets its green and yellow sleeve at the point it lands in an accessory. Twin and earth is fixed, flat, and cheap, and it is the default for almost every permanent circuit hidden in your walls, lighting and sockets both. What changes between those jobs is not the cable type. It is the size. And size is where it counts, because the thickness of that copper decides how much current the cable can safely carry. We measure it in square millimeters, the cross-sectional area of one conductor. Here is the mapping to memorize. 1.0 or 1.5 square millimeters. That is your lighting cable. Lights draw very little, so thin is fine. 2.5 square millimeters. That is your socket cable. Ring mains and radials, the outlets you plug into every day. Step up to 6 square millimeters for a cooker circuit. And 10 square millimeters. Nice and chunky for an electric shower, which is one of the hungriest loads in the whole house. So the pattern is simple. The bigger the load, the fatter the cable. Lighting is thin. Sockets are medium. Showers and cookers are thick. Same twin and earth, 4 different sizes. Quick note. Every diagram in this video is drawn in a free tool that runs right in your browser, CircuitDiagramMaker.app. No install, no sign up. The link is below, so open in a second tab and sketch your own circuit as we go. Now, twin and earth is fixed in place forever. But what about the things that move? The appliance you unplug, the pendant that hangs, the lamp you carry from room to room. Flat cable is wrong for those. You want round flex. Flex is flexible. That is the whole point. Its conductors are made of many fine strands instead of one solid wire, so it bends again and again without cracking. And its cores with their colors directly, brown for live, blue for neutral, and green and yellow for earth. 2-core flex, just brown and blue, is for double-insulated appliances that need no earth, like a lamp or a phone charger. 3-core flex adds the earth, and it is what you will find on a kettle, an iron, a washing machine, or a pendant light drop. Rule of thumb, if it plugs in, hangs, or moves, it is flex. Next up, single-core cable. This is exactly what it sounds like. One conductor, one color, one insulation layer, and no outer sheath at all. Because it has no protective sheath, single core is never run loose. It lives inside conduit or trunking. Those plastic or metal tubes you see on the surface of walls in workshops, garages, and commercial units. You pull the individual browns, blues, and green and yellows through the tube, and the conduit is the mechanical protection. It is the tidy, professional choice for surface runs where you want to add or swap circuits later without chasing into the wall. Think commercial and industrial first, home second. Now, for the tough one, steel wire armored cable, or SWA. This is the cable you use when the run leaves the safety of the house. Look at its cross-section and you can see why it is bomb-proof. Colored cores in the center, brown, blue, and green and yellow. Around them, a bedding layer. Then a cage of steel wires wrapped right around the cable. That is the armor, and it does 2 jobs. It shrugs off a spade or a rock, and it can act as the earth itself. Finally, a tough black outer sheath rated for sunlight and burial. SWA is what you run outdoors, underground to a shed or garage, out to a garden office, or to an EV charger. Bury it in the ground, clip it to an outside wall. It takes it. When the cable has to survive the weather and the world, this is the one. Let us clear up two things you will meet in every cable. First, solid versus stranded conductors. Solid is a single thick wire, stiff, cheap, and perfect for fixed twin and earth that gets clipped in place once and never moves. Stranded is many fine wires bundled together, flexible, and used wherever the cable has to bend, which is why flex is always stranded. Second, the earth. In fixed cable, the earth may be a bare copper conductor, like the one in twin and earth. In flex and SWA, it is a fully insulated green and yellow core. Either way, its name is the CPC, the circuit protective conductor, and it is the wire that trips the breaker and keeps you alive if a fault ever makes metalwork live. Never treat it as optional. While we are here, lock in the colors because a cable is useless if you cannot read it. In modern UK wiring, brown is live, blue is neutral, and green and yellow stripes are always only earth. One big warning. In older homes, you will find the harmonized colors predecessors, red for live and black for neutral. Red and black. If you open a wall and see red and black, treat that installation with extra care because black used to be neutral and now blue is neutral. The exact same look, the opposite meaning. When colors are old or ambiguous, do not assume. Test before you touch. So how do you actually pick the size with confidence? Here is the golden rule, and it has 3 parts. 1. The cable must match the protective device. The breaker is there to protect the cable, so the cable has to be thick enough to carry more current than the breaker will ever let through. Cable first, breaker second. They are a match pair. 2. Size to the load current. Add up what the circuit actually draws, and make sure the cable is rated above it with margin to spare. 3. The one people forget, the run length. Over a long cable run, voltage quietly drops along the way, and a starved circuit at the far end runs hot and dim. The fix is simple. For long runs, go up a size. When in doubt, upsize. Bigger cable is never the thing that fails. Let's put it all together in one cheat sheet. 1 to 1.5 mil, twin and earth, 6 to 10 amp breaker, lighting. 2.5 mil, 20 to 32 amp, sockets. For mil, for a heavy radial. 6 mil, 32 amp, the cooker. 10 mil, 40 amp, the shower. Flex for anything that moves, single core in conduit for surface runs, and armored SWA the moment you step outside. That is the whole language of house wiring cable. Match the type to the job, match the size to the breaker, the load, and the run, and when it is hidden in a wall or buried in the ground, when in doubt, upsize. One honest word on safety. Fixed wiring in a home is notifiable work in many places, and getting the cable wrong is a fire risk, not a cosmetic one. Plan it, draw it, and have it checked. Open the free editor and map your own circuits before you buy a single meter. The link is below. Subscribe for a new wiring guide every week, and I will see you in the next one.